Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Let's Talk Wrestling podcast proudly brings to you the Extreme Rules review.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was sort of like really up for it, and then I was like, yeah. Whoops. But yeah, pay-per-view review, and I am your host, Matt Marsander. With me, the usual ringleader, but today he shall serve as my bitch. Tony.
Oh, is that the intro I get, is it? Oh, I slave over intros for you on a weekend.
And you're just my bitch.
Yeah, like you're
still
the
recovering from a weekend. I am still tired. I've somehow managed to watch this in time, and I am I don't know.
You're so tired. I always feel sorry for you even being on the show this week, but you're doing what has to be done.
That's very true. And we'll get on with it. I was going to say, it was like, if only it was a decent... Yeah, it wasn't bad. Anyway, before we get started, obviously we have the needless plugging of everything we need to do. You can always...
I think it's 100% needed, but there we are.
It's completely justified. Just a soulless plug. Just like our stuff, talk to us. On the Twitter of @TalkRussellPod. On the Facebook of facebook.com/ Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's the place to be.
That's the one.
Give me a plug, man. Don't take them all.
Okay, well, you get the last one.
All right. If you guys want to send us any emails or private, also emails and audio questions, and you can send them to Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast @gmail.com. It's one of those weird things that watching you do the plugs and suddenly I'm getting very protective of them all of a sudden. But there you go. That's just the way it is.
They're my plugs. Mine. Yeah. So, we are at Extreme Rules of 2016, which was Newark.
Yeah,
New
Jersey.
Yeah. As always, the stage hasn't changed. Typical pay-per-view. It hasn't even changed from the previous years, the Extreme Rules. They seem to just want to stick with the big X.
Yeah, it's the same sort of logo that they've gone with, like the kind of designers that they're going for, like almost like Russian like propaganda design sort of thing, and they've done that for like the last 3 years or so.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I still don't.
You don't like it?
I'm not a big fan.
I don't think it's too bad. I think it's a little bit lazy that they haven't changed it. But
yeah, but then we're going back to conversations of old, where it's like, I really miss when they used to just change the arena. Like,
I know.
But
just in general, like seeing the stage as it is. I mean, I know we've said this tons before, but seeing that stage as it is, man, it's just a bit depressing every time you watch a pay-per-view. Yeah, but
there's nothing. There's not even a Titantron. It's just sort of like floor.
Yeah, I always find it weird.
Light panels at the sides.
They removed the ramp. Right, for the pay-per-views to make it look different. I'm like, it looks like it has less production value than an episode of Raw. I don't understand that, but still.
That's very true. But yeah, what was the theme song this year?
I don't know. It looked like they used rock, though.
It was, but it's, I don't know, it was like Hailstorm or something.
I don't know. I don't think it was Hailstorm, but...
Paramore? Like that sort of thing. It was a female vocal.
Yeah. It was okay, but it wasn't like great enough that I'd go searching it out. Basically, but yeah.
But we get sidetracked of the smaller details when we actually had the opening match to deal with. Did you watch any of the pre-show?
I think you know the answer to that already.
No, nor did I.
Did you watch any of the pre-show?
No.
Yeah. I think everyone knows with our pay-per-view reviews so far that if there's one thing we can bank on, that
I couldn't even tell you what one of the matches was.
Corbin and Ziggler. I know that was
one apparently.
It wasn't on the card to begin with, though.
Okay.
No, I've got no clue what it is now. But I know that Corbin beat Ziggler. And for all those interested, before we get into this, with my predictions for the show, I had a clean sweep. So
Well done.
just want to add that out there. In fact, I even called how the women's match would end to a degree. But we'll get to that as we get to it. That's just me tooting my own horn.
I did good. Well, yeah, I mean, it starts off with the Usos versus Anderson and Gallows in the Tornado Tag Match, which I don't remember the last time we've had a Tornado Tag Match.
No, you know what's funny about that is that like that used to be like a favorite game type of mine in like the old wrestling video games because like you didn't have to wait and get tagged in by your mate. Probably, you probably remember that because it was normally you and me were like, should we just do a normal tag match or no tornado tag?
That's it, tornado tag. We can do with rules. Nah. I don't know. It was all right. It was a solid match. It was a solid opening match, and I feel bad for the Usos. And I've always noticed they've recently got a bit darker with their attire because obviously they're getting booed a lot.
It's one of those things now that like the Reigns heat is like we said before that he was toxic, and now like the Usos are getting booed to shit. Like as soon as the show starts, which obviously that isn't their role. I mean, Gallows and Anderson are supposed to be the heels, but I mean. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
But everyone's just like, Japan!
yeah, exactly.
But no, I think it was a good match. It was solid. I think it was one of those matches that kind of went a little bit further, sort of like, I really hate the fact that they don't use Anderson to their full potential.
It's not even so much that, in my opinion, that I think that. I mean, like I said, as you said, that I thought the match itself was good, but I mean, we saw it on Raw, like on Raw this last week.
We saw it on Raw. Like, yeah. I mean, it's not the tornado tag format, but yeah, it's the exact same match, just with the sneaky use of a bell.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like sure, like the match quality of the wrestling is of a pretty decent quality, but it's completely meaningless. It doesn't matter who wins this match, which made that it's one of those kind of exhibition matches that I can understand why they put it at the start of the show because it's one of the ones that I honestly don't think that if it was put in like a slot where maybe the fans aren't going to give them like a free pass at the beginning of the show.
Oh god! Like if this went after like the Fatal 4-Way or something, then
it would have died. Yeah, like it honestly, like that could have been quite awkward. And it's not so much that the match is bad, but it's just it doesn't mean anything.
It was a solid curtain jerker.
Yeah, and I think that was the only role for it on the pay-per-view.
On the whole card, yeah. But yeah, we had Anderson and Gallows win, and I'm still struggling like to figure out who sings their music, and I'm certain it's Fozzy.
No, it does sound like him, but I think Fozzy. It's in-house.
So it could,
you just convinced.
It could still be Fozzy then.
Yeah, and I think it was in-house music. But if you're convinced it's Fozzy, I won't burst your bubble with that. So.
Fair enough. I appreciate that.
It does sound like a lot of their early stuff, though. I will grant you that. Like, it does sound a lot like that, but still.
Bear with me.
What are you looking at?
I may just be Googling it.
I love this whenever it brings something up, you just let your curiosity get the better of you. Like, I could leave this to after the episode, but fuck it, I'm just going to do it right now.
I need to know. I don't even know. They're not saying. It doesn't say. It's just Omen in the sky, and that's all I know.
Yeah, as far as I know, it was done in house. Like they got CFO Money, I think their name is, or something that do a lot of the intros. So like, I think it's them who did it. So,
oh well. Mm-hmm. I still don't know what I think about it, but never mind. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
We get your usual cutaway. It's like, hey. Languages! We're an international company. Yeah, that was about
it. Yeah, but you say that though. You're like, it wasn't nearly as quick as that. It was like a good 5 minutes of give us a minute of every single language.
SmackDown #1. Okay, Funaki. Okay.
Oh,
Moving on. You know, the one thing I'm like terrified of the day they're like, and the Russian like correspondence team, and there's just like Kozlov.
And you know, right next to him on the Italian one is Santino, so just they can talk to each other in the middle of the show. Yeah,
and then I'll just watch that instead of that would be my filler match.
And you know what? Santino and Kozlov and commentary can't be nearly as bad as what we currently have. So really, I don't know. Actually, Kozlov,
I don't know.
Oh dear.
At least we're not going to have Kozlov making all these like unnecessary sport references.
Yeah, there is that.
But once we find out that Funaki still thinks that SmackDown is the superior brand, we had the US title match of Kalisto versus Rusev. I didn't enjoy this match.
You didn't enjoy it, no?
It took really long to, like, from what I understand, it took really long to get going. So in that time that it took to get going, I lost all interest, and then before I even realised that something good was happening, it was over.
Oh, well, I tell you what, in my opinion, I thought this was a decent match. I think maybe it got... I liked the ending of it, though, with Kalisto taking the beating and then, like...
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of teasing the referee stoppage.
Yeah.
Although JBL going mental, like, on the outside saying, he knows that it will only be a DQ if he lets the referee do it. And I'm like... No, it would have been referee stoppage, so Rusev still would have won the championship. So it doesn't...
I was going to say, referee stoppage is a thing. We've seen it before. We've seen it fairly recently. If in NXT,
I kind of hope that they would have done it here. I think that would have been pretty cool if Rusev actually finished the match on one by referee stoppage. That would have really got him over as like a badass. I still think he did all right.
Yeah. The curl that he got out of Kalisto.
Well, the accolade.
Yeah.
It looks nasty. It does.
It did look really just quite savage. I mean, yeah, it was good in the fact that, like, yeah, you saw quite a lot of like Kalisto just getting beaten around, and just like a lot of people go like, oh, the mosquito, and it's just sort of like whenever Del Rio used to refer to him as the little mosquito. It's like, I'm going to swat him out of the sky sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I don't really believe it so much. But when Rusev's just like, I'm going to crush him, like, yes, you are. You're
and
Rusev.
He was swatting him out of the sky.
Yeah.
I think it was like a time where he hit him, like, and it did look like that.
He went for this, like, corkscrew off the rope, didn't he? And Rusev was like, no.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things there that, like, you take a still shot and just be like, this is the moment that Kalisto knew he fucked up. Just
and at that moment, just bang, and just throw him to the floor. But no, Rusev is now a 2-time United States champion.
He is.
And I quite like it.
Yeah.
I'm worried, but I quite like it.
The thing is that I look at it, though, is that, like, Kalisto's title run was treated so poorly. And I think that Rusev is going to have, like... I think he's got more stock, right? I think they look at Rusev and think of him with a little bit higher regard than they do Kalisto. Which is weird, because I know that they're still... WWE is still panicking over trying to get across to the Latino market, right? But they can't quite get there. So... But... You know, they've only got themselves to blame. If they're thinking, oh, Kalisto never really got over as champion, well, performing on 3 straight pre-show
that's it. I mean, Kalisto must have known that the writing was on the wall when he suddenly like, oh, I'm on the main card? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said in the predictions. I was like, yeah, there's a reason why this match is on the main card. And it's because he's losing the title, right? That's exactly the reason why. But I like it. I think Rusev, like, they're probably going back into things that they've already done before, but it's got to be better than what Kalisto was doing.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, and the best time that Rusev's been around was with that title, right? So, like, if they can at the very least get somewhat close to, like, recapturing what he used to have back then, then that's productive.
Try and score that second lightning strike sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, following up that, we had some WWE World Tag Team Champion matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
You enjoyed that a bit too much, didn't you? Even
man,
in
do you know what? I am a massive New Day fan.
Yeah.
I cannot deny it anymore. I want a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not to the extent that I want a unicorn horn, but I want a t-shirt.
You don't want a lightable dildo on your head.
I
no,
do not want a shiny phallus.
Yeah, shiny phallus. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay.
Did I notice what?
Did you watch Raw though this week? Did you manage to get round to that?
You mean last week?
Last week, yeah.
Well, with their time machine.
Yes, that's what we were alluding to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if I hadn't, they'll have shown it. They showed it anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think other stuff about recently, there's just been making so many quips at the old style, like the previous week where they're like, and they'd hate us from back then. It's like they're going racist, aren't they?
Yeah.
Smartphone, like, oh, okay, but they're black, so it's okay. They can make racist remarks.
Exactly. We can't do that here on this show, but they can.
That's it. I enjoy this, and you've got Xavier Woods who's playing out to as a broken-hearted man almost. It's like, I need someone. My DMs are open.
That being said, though, Matt, he's right next to the epicenter of sexual energy, Big E.
That's very true.
I don't know how successful he's going to be. Like, I more and more each week, it's getting disturbing how attracted I'm becoming to Big E. I don't know why.
You get lost in his eyes, don't you?
I do a bit. I feel like I just want to hug the guy. Don't know why. Strange, weird. I can't explain it.
Like a big cuddle, just cozy.
Yeah. What do you think of this match, though?
It was alright.
I imagine this is your general thoughts of the match in general. Yeah, it was okay.
It was alright. No, it was alright.
Is that your general thought?
That's kind of it. I mean, I was quite shocked to see that Xavier Woods was going to be was the one defending.
Yeah,
considering it's usually just sort of like, I got an Xavier. You just sit out this one again.
He's normally their third guy, isn't he? Like with Kofi and Big E. But
that's it. I know it is good to see Woods sort of wrestling because I think it's one of those things that most people forget is the fact that Woods is a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, he was good back at NXT, let alone now.
Yeah, when he was going around with his big afro. But no, Woods has always been good, and as a result, it's quite nice that they sort of do let him just sort of like, no, go ahead, prove that you are you are competent and you're tough because you get to kick out of a finisher.
That's what he did. He came off like a badass here because he got the whirling dervish put on him, didn't he? Yeah,
that's it. And he's like, nope.
You could say even then that him being in the match saved the championships for the New Day.
You
could say that. You could.
I remember who actually got the pin.
Kofi kicked Gotch in the head.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which means Woods got the victory because Big E was already speared English out of the ring at that point.
That's right.
I've heard a few
there was a bit that English got a nasty counter to Big E's spear, though, didn't he?
At one point, yeah. But then once, obviously, it was time for him to spear him outside the ring, which is still a great visual. What I thought was quite funny with this, especially with Kofi being the one that interrupted, basically, and kind of was the difference maker, is that all the way throughout the build-up, they've kind of downplayed the fact that, the Vaudevillains have been able to get one over on the New Day all this time, yet they've got New Day clearly have the numbers advantage. So when it came up to the title match, it kind of made sense that New Day would use it. So, But yeah.
No, it was a good match. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, every time I mean, I know, all jokes aside about me and my fucking sexual preferences towards Big E, but like people must know by now, like every time he gets in the ring, like I look at him and I'm like, this guy could be like a serious single star.
Yeah, definitely.
I know he's not going to be because
It's dictum.
What's going on? There's no point taking him out of the New Day at the moment because it's working. But like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I see something that other people don't. But I look at him and I'm like, he's got everything you could possibly need. And I even thought that even more just in this match. Every match he's in, I feel the same way about the guy. But
yeah,
maybe it's just because he's my daddy, you know, or at least he tells me he is.
He'll have you believe it to be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was solid. It was good. We led backstage because Renee Young can't be stuck at the desk at the kickoff panel all night long.
Yeah.
Let's go stretch her legs and sort of like, Styles, want a word?
It's always funny how she seems to be able to find these guys at just the right time in between matches.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it from completely like storyline perspective, her timing is fucking impeccable. It really is. Like,
it's kind of bizarre that he's like match ready halfway through the night.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much like, he's like all he had to really do was just put the gloves on and he's sort of he's set. And it's like, dude, we're like an hour into the show. He's eager. I'll give him that.
He's eager and enthusiastic.
Yes. So. And he's a bit bored of having to go on about Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
As much as he's like, they're my brothers or whatever. And he's just like, I don't... Like, I'm phenomenal and I'll win it myself.
That's basically the entirety of this interview.
Yeah,
it was kind of worthless. But with all due respect to Renee Young, the majority of her backstage interviews are kind of worthless. So
that's it. At least they didn't give it to. I feel really bad because I can never remember his name.
Who?
The SmackDown commentator.
Oh, Ronaldo, yeah. At least I didn't give it to him. But then it's a real shame that he's not on main commentary. Yeah. He should be.
He should. Because you know what sort of match he'd be able to call, and it would sound amazing.
It would have.
Amazing if he could have called this fatal four-way match for the IC title.
This match.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Wonderful fatal four-way of such a difficult match type, but so good.
They made like we've said before, triple threat matches and like fatal four-way matches. Like you'll hear from wrestlers like all the time that this is they're poxy, they're awkward to even plan, let alone go and execute. They made it look easy in this match, like it was a breeze, and it wasn't like a small match of like 10 minutes. It was probably like 20 minutes long or something like that. It was crazy. To keep a match with that many competitors in at such a high level for such a long period of time, that's hugely impressive, even just like on a technical standpoint. No,
it's great. And it's like they did really well, like the Helluva Kick, like as soon as the bell rung was great. And then it's just sort of like, and then like everyone's like, oh my God, what the hell happened? And then Cesaro just like takes out the Miz, and it's like, Cesaro and Sami Zayn, we know that's good. Oh, it's still good.
Is it like Sami Zayn is like even like I think didn't he have like a decent match? Oh yeah, he did with the Miz to earn his shot into the thing, into the title match. So he's had like world class matches with all the
every member of this. Yeah.
But here's the thing though, like obviously we have no time to do it now, but trying to rank which of the matches were better, that would be
Cesaro. Oh, I don't know actually.
Let's not open up that can of worms. We don't have all day. So.
If we went as far, I don't know. If we went as far to go to Sami Zayn versus Cesaro in that 2 out of 3 falls match on NXT.
Yeah, I'll probably give it to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a special match.
That was wonderful. Anyway, maybe not as wonderful, but this was a fucking great match. So many false finishes, so many just turns and twists, And unfortunately, Maurice getting involved.
She played her role, Matt. You know.
Boo.
I know you're not the biggest Maurice fan,
Boo.
but one guy who came off like a badass motherfucker though was Cesaro. There was like a part in this match where like he was just fucking dominating, and he was just like,
I was just wrecking everyone.
Yeah.
It's sort of like halfway through where he's going through the Cesaro swing, and it's just sort of like part way through, and you think he's like tiring out, and he's like, nope, up a gear. Whoa, whoa. He just picks it up a notch. You're like, fuck.
But like even then, like he's hitting like fucking uppercuts everywhere. Like he's hitting finishers.
Yeah.
There was like a good like 5 minutes of this match where like Cesaro was like dominating and looked like he almost won it in multiple ways. And what was it? Zayn hitting that fucking that was one of the most beautiful like sunset flip pins on him.
Oh yeah,
that was beautiful.
Mwah.
Like that move you could see done a lot of times, but people can fuck it up a lot, and it doesn't like they can do the move, but it doesn't look pretty. This is like I don't even think I've seen a sunset flip like pinfall look as good as this.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's another one of those like that these guys have worked over the years.
Yeah. And clearly, they have a lot of trust in one another to do a move like that because you could land so wrong, but that was beautiful.
But, it was so good. The whole match was good. Everything was good. I loved this match. It was great.
Do you think it was match of the night?
Easily.
Yeah. I think the main event was good, like really, really good. But there was something a little bit special about this match, I think. And like when you look at it in relation to the like intercontinental title matches over like even like the last 10 years, I think this has to be up there. I thought this was I think the match was booked well. Sure, like I know a lot of people aren't going to like the ending with Miz winning, but
of course not.
Like when you have to rate the match as it is, then I think it has to be up there. You know,
I think it built up really well because everyone had like a solid contention for the belt.
Yeah,
I think that's another thing. It's like everyone was like, because Owens was like, well, I didn't get my rematch, and then Cesaro like, well, I got screwed out at the last event. And he got Sami Zayn's like, well, I want in.
Well, he beat the champion, didn't he? So I mean,
he beat the champion. He was like, this is the era, the new era, the era of the people and what they want, and this is what they want. Let me beat the champion. If I can, I'm in.
I'll tell you what is good about this though is that just because like the way that it was booked and with all these guys, it got to a point where it felt like these guys were going like the extra mile to win the match. It makes the IC title feel very important.
Yeah.
Where like these high class athletes are really going like the extra mile, just to even have the chance of winning it. These are the sort of matches that the IC title should be having every pay-per-view. And I really do mean that because like back in the days of old, you'd have the marquee match, Hulk Hogan against whoever for the WWE title. Yeah. But then you'd have like Bret Hart against, like Mr. Perfect or something, like as like the proper wrestling match.
Yeah.
That would often steal the show. So almost like a little bit of a throwback match here if you look at it in that sense that.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you say one of the better matches from WWE this year? Would you go that far?
Yeah, I could go that far.
I think it would go that far. I think it was excellent. So.
And there's a common denominator in it.
Yeah, Mr. Sami Zayn, right?
Indeed.
I think this is going to shock a few people, but I think that he's just like if I just say like a millimeter ahead of the competition for Wrestler of the Year so far. And look, he emerged out of nowhere. Like Nakamura and Styles had a head start over him, and he's just like come surging forward since he got back from injury.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive. Like he's doing phenomenal work there. And one of our fans as well said that Kevin Owens is probably like one of the guys that they would go for. He's certainly not putting himself out of the equation, but I think Sami Zayn, like that match over with Nakamura, is obviously the best one of the year so far, in my opinion. But Zayn is just on a different level at the moment. So
Yeah, it's great. And I just really enjoyed this match. I think it was solid. It was just good fun to watch. Shame about the next match because that wasn't.
Yeah.
What?
You know, like your match earlier on, the Rusev and Kalisto match, right?
Yeah.
And you said that you kind of tuned out of it. This was my match that I tuned out.
I tuned out of it as well.
People are like, "What are you talking about?" We haven't even said what match.
I don't even know why I didn't like it.
We're talking about the Asylum match anyway.
We are talking about the Asylum match.
Yeah.
It's Jericho versus Ambrose. It's Stripper versus Lunatic.
Didn't he look really badly like a stripper though? Because he's not even like, I know we've done this joke before
with the high leg boots.
Yeah, not even that. He's not even wearing a shirt this time.
Didn't try.
But still. Although I will say though that the visual of the Asylum match is pretty unique, like the black cage and the weapons hanging there.
The only problem is I was just looking at it. It's like, so it's Lethal Lockdown.
Yeah. And that's not the first time I've heard that, by the way. So
yeah. But it was like, hey, we had nunchucks. Nunchucks are good. Nunchucks are cool.
Ambrose knows how to use them.
Indeed. He's a mental ninja.
Well, I tell you what it might be, though, because we know we've already ascertained that Ambrose is a clone, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what this is that, like, they just uploaded, like, Matrix style into his brain.
I was thinking just like a couple of drops of, like, Asian DNA.
Oh, Matt, because all Asian people could do martial arts. Is that what it is?
Right, okay. They may or may not, but do you want to risk it?
No, to be honest, no. But yeah.
But I did not enjoy this match.
It went too long. That was his problem.
It was very slow.
Mm.
It was slow. It dragged. I felt it was quite boring.
Was it the longest match on the night? I think it had to be close at least.
Let me check.
Because like this went on like 30 minutes. Like it went on for a
it
very
definitely felt that way.
And the thing is, like, the funny thing about this match is that I tuned out, right, for a good portion of the match. And then when I came back, that's when things started getting a little bit interesting. Go on.
It was the longest match of the night.
By how much?
It was 4 minutes longer than the main event. It was 26 minutes.
Jeez. And you could have cut a good 11 minutes out of that and made a decent 15-minute match out of that. Would you agree with that? Because
I could agree with that. Oh, I could find actually. Now that I think about it, I could find out what the song was.
Oh, well, there you are.
Oh, Fires by Paris.
I don't know. I didn't like it enough to go look it up.
Paris, yeah.
But you know what I mean? It felt like they were trying to make out a lot of time with it. They wanted to try and get the most of like the gimmick. And like, fair enough, I get that, but it just got to a point.
Ages. Yeah,
and like I actually really like the ending with like the tax and stuff because I didn't think they would be using tax and shit. I thought they were far beyond that. And I like them teasing it. I thought that was used quite well. But it was like a good 15 minutes beforehand where, let's be honest, not a lot really happened.
No.
You know?
Especially when it was like, the other thing I loved is they were going on about like how, the mop was so disgusting. And it's like, that's clearly a brand new mop.
It looks sparkling clean, like it's never been. Yeah.
Like the closest that thing's come to water is the bottle of it that's across the other side of the room.
Do you not think though that if it was in Lucha Underground, that it would actually? Oh be
man, you know that if it was in Lucha Underground, you could almost believe that there's a little bit of corn in it.
Yeah, or like the spiders festering from within.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean.
I didn't enjoy this match. It took too long. And obviously now that we know that it was the longest match of the night, it definitely took too long.
Oh, without question.
Thumbtacks were cool. They stepped it up a notch. And there was a lot of close calls and sort of like sort of like, oh no, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. And then obviously it does.
Yeah.
And Jericho bleeds well.
Oh yeah, he got hurt quite bad. Like I will defend that the last 6 minutes of this match I did think were quite entertaining, but the fact you had 20 minutes to get there,
yeah,
is a little bit unforgivable on that front. I like just Jericho's expression when he realized that Tax had gone out. That was good. It was almost like he had seen a ghost. He was like, "Oh fuck this!" Like, no, you don't look like Mick Foley.
The worst part is I didn't like how there was getting that point where they're like, "Oh, what's that in the bucket? Oh, it's a black bag," and all the commentary are just like, what on earth could that be?"
Yeah, that whole acting dumb didn't exactly come off that well, but
and all that, like, we've never seen a black bag before. Oh my god, it's that! Like, it's the first time we've ever seen them.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're saying it because, like, we haven't had Tax for a long time. And you know what, Matt? Not everyone is as old as us, right? Maybe there's some 5-year-old kids.
There was ways I had to explain to my missus, like, no, they're legit thumbtacks.
Yeah.
I was like, surely they're not long enough. I was like, they're long enough.
Look at the blood coming out of him. Do you not think they're long enough?
That's it.
Kudos to Jericho, though, because, like, I mean, there's no way, as you say.
His recent Twitter tirade, was it on Facebook? It's like, if you disagree, you're a stupid idiot. And then it's like, it's fake. Stupid idiot number 1.
Yeah.
That didn't really hurt. Stupid idiot number 2.
It's like at the end of the day, you could try and, dress it up how you like. That's just going to hurt. Like, some moves in wrestling, some, like, spots in wrestling. It was like, when Shane jumped off the fucking top of the cell. Yeah, you could put padding. It's going to hurt. It's the way it is, but still. I will say, though, that, like, one thing I will say is that a little bit unfortunate here. One of the things that I've been alluding to over the weeks when it comes to Dean Ambrose is that when it seems to come up to be, like, a match of, like, a big magnitude for him, it doesn't ever seem to go right. Like, I know he won here, and that's fine, but now he's starting to get a reputation of not performing well when the time calls for it.
Yeah. That's true.
Which I don't want to act off as if I'm all-knowing or anything, but I did say that I was worried that in the ring, this guy has a sort of deficiency to take it to the next level that some wrestlers do.
The big step is a bit too big for him.
Yeah, there's a reason why you've got the likes of, like, Styles, Daniel Bryan, like Nakamura, like some of the new ones coming in, but even, like, Shawn Michaels, right, was probably the perfect, like, indicator where he had that extra little something that could make a good match into a great match.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just don't have that. I don't want to write off Ambrose, but man, he's had a lot of matches now where people are looking at it like everything has been set up perfectly and the match hasn't gone the way it should.
Struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, if you've got 26 minutes to fill, then you can't blame WWE on that. They've given him time and obviously clearly an environment that should work. But
that's it, especially considering it's like, oh, what is he famous for on, like, in the IWC? Like, obviously nowhere near as tame as this, but this is what some people know him for.
Yeah.
So let's give him something like that. Oh. No, it didn't work.
That's the thing. And I like I said, I don't want to label this at the guy, but there is a general consensus that those, CZW death matches, that they resort to violence because their wrestling skills clearly aren't up to snuff. And I don't want to say that about Ambrose because I do think he's a good wrestler and he has had very good matches. But maybe it's one of those things that over the course of his career, that it's that side of him, like the violence and everything, that he's ended up relying more on just general storytelling through moves and psychology. I don't know. I don't want to go down that and, like, I don't want to label him as one of those guys because I don't believe he is, but maybe it's one of those things. All we can say, though, as a fact, is that he's had a couple of big-time matches now that have been promoted fairly well and had lengthy storylines building them up. And they've both come off as pretty uncomfortable, right?
His match with Rollins was good.
Yeah, but that seems like a lifetime ago now.
It does seem like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys, like Rollins has gone on to had fantastic matches with a number of people. You can't really label that Ambrose. I don't think he has, which is, but still.
That is true. So from one average match, should we say average match?
I'll call it average. It was disappointing. It wasn't bad. It was just long. So, yeah.
To what I will call a disappointing match.
I'll almost label this as a. Well, I don't want to do it.
This is a piss break match.
Yeah, right.
This is guys. We're going to improve the women's division. We're going to get rid of the Divas moniker. We're going to have the Women's Revolution. Don't everyone go piss now. Why is it? Where is everyone going? Why are you leaving? No, you're not meant to pee. No.
To a certain point, I'll defend WWE because I don't think they planned on this being like a piss break match. I think they did a video package and everything before it, so clearly
the video package was good.
Yeah, it's just one of those
match.
It's one of those things there though that I just think it's way like people just don't buy Natalya as a threat to the championship. No. They don't see her as being able to win the match.
And if I have to hear like Natalya shout no about like whether she wants to give in or anything one more time, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
There's some odd little bits about Natalya that annoy me, even though she is a good wrestler. But it's just it. I tell you what was disappointing is that all that aside, I just don't think they wrestled very well.
We know they can.
We know they can. I don't think this match was like. I think their first match was pretty decent. I think it was a bar the ending, but. Like this match.
Oh, what you mean at Payback?
Yeah, the one where they did the screw job finish, which kind of sucked. But like, I just don't think I don't think it was. I think it's a moment here that is best forgotten. But there we are.
So we won't talk about it then.
I think we have to talk about what happened at the end. You don't get away that easy. You let me off the hook sometimes when no. So. I won't do the same for you.
Well, okay. Rick's music hit. Natalya's like, yay, I won. But lo and behold, it was not Ric Flair.
No.
It was someone else, another blonde, who's spent some time in the gym and has nothing better to do. It's Dana Brooke.
It is. She found a new squeeze now that Emma's out.
That's it. New squeeze. It smells like Dana Brooke's this like raging lesbian.
No, but like she's got a new association. I was going to say cash cow, but I'm sure someone would flip that as me calling Charlotte a cow. But no, that's not.
The only one thing I really hate. Like I get it's a really bad situation considering that Emma's now injured, but I quite like the fact that they were going to bring that. Like what is currently or what has recently been their NXT thing to the main roster, and it's like, no, she's now friends and like working with Charlotte. It's like, okay.
Well, just to annoy you a little bit further, like she's beaten Becky Lynch and Paige since she debuted on the main roster.
Yes, I'm aware of this. So
she's getting the push, Matt. The push is real. The push is very real.
She's going to start touching herself again, isn't she?
I'm surprised she hasn't already. Although I will say, though, that the awkwardness of her doing the strut here, and it was like she was clearly overdoing it. There was like a point where Charlotte looked as if she was like, look, just calm down. Like,
really?
And even like Ric Flair, like I know he was trying to strut alongside her, but it was a point here he was a little bit like, who the fuck is this woman? Like, she's just like, won't stop.
Do you even know? So she's almost like just like goes Eva Marie on it, like armbar. What drinks do they serve?
I won't say that bad against Dana. I think like I think that she's capable. She's clearly been put up on the main roster too early. I like to think that the plan, as you say there with her, was to do the same thing as she had with Emma, and just like she wouldn't be wrestling that often, still be doing training, but she would
Like
be with Emma.
Muscle. Yeah.
Yeah. The way I like to think of it is that was their plan, and now with Emma being injured, they've had to amend it. That's how I like to think of it. But more than likely, they were like, Dana Brooks here, let's push her.
No, I'm pretty sure the injury has played a role.
Yeah. That's what I like to think anyway. But who, man, come on! Like Dana went from being associated with Emma to being associated with the champion. Like in her eyes, man, Emma getting injured is probably one of the best things to happen in her career in a while. So which is a shame, but that's just the way it plays out sometimes.
That's true. Well, we spent more time talking about this than I thought we would.
Yeah, we would talk about it more in length over the weekend, I imagine. Because
I can't wait.
Let's talk about the main event then.
That's it. The Extreme Rules match that, other than a little bit of no countouts, wasn't particularly extreme.
Still think it was very good, though.
Oh, it was very good. Just the one that I'm really annoyed about is to see all these people just sort of like, Styles lost to a spear. It's like, what about everything leading up to that spear?
Yeah,
he lost to one spear. Okay, he got put through 2 announce tables for a start.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's more along the lines that I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here, but like in the ending where you got like Stars clash like twice and once onto a chair, that to me, like that should be ending a match, but it obviously didn't. But no, I agree. I agree with you in that sort of degree. However, going to like the start of it here, man, the whole thing with like JBL trying to twist the reaction, like their new thing now.
What you mean? Like he has been since fucking morning after Mania.
Yeah, but their new thing now is that they're trying to do the Cena thing, which is, well, basically him getting any reaction means that Reigns is a massive star.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it means that the crowd fucking dislike him. It's not even like close to what Cena had. Cena like
it's always that he refers to it. He uses the term. It doesn't matter that at least like they give him a reaction or something like that.
Yeah, but even with Cena, it was like 50-50, right? He had like a good majority of fans on his side. Yeah, you had the people that disliked him, whatever. With like Reigns, it's like very generous, like 80-20.
Yeah,
like
proper toxic.
Yeah.
And the one thing I loved is just like you get the whole moment where he like back body dropped Stars through the announce table, and like it was almost like a chant of, I appreciate that was a good thing, but you still suck.
Yeah, that was funny. I genuinely laughed at that. But I tell you what it is though, that with these matches, like just doing that table spot, by the way, fucking hell, AJ got some height on that, did he not?
Yeah.
AJ was putting his body on the line to make Roman come off like a fucking
champ,
badass. Yeah, like a champion. He was legitimizing the guy, almost like Daniel Bryan did at Fastlane, right? Before WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
Like he almost did like the same thing where he almost legitimized the guy. But at very least, I thought was quite one thing I would have liked to have seen, because they end up fighting around the pre-show panel at one point.
Yeah.
And I thought, come on, we got to see a powerbomb through the pre-show panel. We got to see that happen.
No.
Why not?
No, I was just saying, like, oh, that would have been fucking brutal.
I know it's like glass, so like
she was sound like that terrible child. Like, haha, they could have died. I know.
Yeah,
like, I know. Glass.
They would have lost their life for my entertainment. Yay! No. I'm not that fucking bloodthirsty, Matt. You know.
Okay.
Even though I did enjoy the tax earlier on, but still, you know, you're the ECW fan, Matt. Listen, glass houses, Matt. You can't throw this around.
I can't throw stones. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
It's fine. No, I definitely enjoyed this match. I think it was a solid main event.
Yeah. Not as good as the IC title match,
No,
though.
not as good as the IC title, but I think this one did what it needed to do. Plus, for other reasons, I liked the end of this match.
Oh, you mean when Reigns retains his championship?
And
that's the bit you liked.
Our savior returns to us.
No, it's not just it's our God and say our Lord and Savior. You have to say it correctly.
Oh, apologies. Do you know what the worst part is? I was like, because I had this part spoiled for me, and I was like, I can't even remember what his entrance music is. It'd been so long.
I was waiting for it. The
that's the result. I was sort of like, it's fine. I'll hear it soon enough. But I didn't, and I remembered what it was. But Seth Rollins, I want your blonde streak back.
Oh, you're sad it's gone. He's gone full black.
It's not full black. There's a little bit.
It's never been as faded as it has been now, shall we say? But
I'm well excited for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I missed Rollins, and people might go like, "Oh, well, that's a bit hypocritical because you said that the shows were getting quite boring with him around." It was only because like he was being made to talk way too much. They had like 5 segments every Raw.
Plus, I think the biggest problem that we had with Rollins in the beginning, well, not in the beginning, but when we were saying about like being bored, pardon me, being bored with him, was simply because that was during the time of the Authority, where it's like every 5, like the opening, where it's like every start was an opening promo.
Yeah,
with the Authority.
Then the third segment,
and
then the fifth one, and then the middle, and then just at the top of the second hour, then at the end. Yeah, it's like you got so overexposed. But you know what I'd like to see though. I know they won't do it. In fact, I already know that they're not going to do it. But just the fact, just to say, you know what, like down the line, to find out who's going to be like the number one contender down the line, let's just have Rollins and Styles. Yeah, right. Isn't it? That's a mouth-watering match right there. And I think it's funny that, like, because obviously Styles debuted in the middle of like Rollins being out, it's one of those matches that we never even conceived of like possibly happening.
Yeah.
But now you think of it and you're like, that's a tasty matchup right there. That would be something I'm very interested in. But
yeah, I'd pay money for that.
Yeah, I'd happily do that. I'm happy Rollins is back, lifting his world championship in the air, as he would say.
That's it.
And obviously he was cheered like a hero for doing so. Although what I do think they're going to end up doing, though, is they're going to try and have Rollins back as the heel and Roman as the face. They're going to find out really hard.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like, I thought Styles got a good cheer when his music first hit. I don't know. I think that contends.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things though that like, listen, like maybe this is me being a little bit like not giving any sort of credit to Roman Reigns, but I do think if the crowd start to turn and they start booing Rollins a little bit more over the course of this next month, and they start cheering Reigns a bit, I think it's more on the lines because Rollins may have been able to convince him that he's the worst of two evils on the mic. I just don't think that's going to happen, you know, but yeah, still, we'll see how that plays out.
That's it. But no, it's going to be good. It's going to be leading to some very interesting things. And all I know at the moment is, like, the only thing I know about this week's Raw at the moment is another return.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, so.
It's not.
Or is it not anything too huge? No.
He's certified.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I expected that return anyway.
And
it's weird that I know exactly what you're talking about just by that.
yeah, he's certified. Okay.
Okay. I think that's vague enough that, general fans might not know what you're talking about. So, still. What do you think of the pay-per-view as a whole, though?
Pay-per-view as a whole, all right.
I thought it was pretty good. I think actually it's one of the better ones that WWE's done this year. And that mainly maybe because WrestleMania was a bit of a dud, right?
Yeah.
Fastlane is what it is. Nothing overly special. It just is, right? Payback was okay. But I think, honestly, you had, like that IC title match, I think is very special. I think that's a really good match. You've had the main event, which I think is really, really solid. And, sure, like the Asylum match wasn't all it meant up to be. But I think overall, I think this show will be remembered more for those two matches, less than, the Asylum match sucked or the women's match wasn't as good as it should have been. I think it'll be remembered more of its positives, less of its negatives.
Yeah, I think the only problem I had with it is it's just because we've spent so long doing all this stuff that's going to be like the women's division and yay and
they've got it on hold until they finally decide it's Sasha and Charlotte at SummerSlam. I'm convinced that they've got the entire division on hold until they can make up time until SummerSlam, which is a bit weird, but it's WWE for you.
Yeah.
How far, what's your overall rating of the show would be, though?
I'd give it a watch.
A one watch? I'd go very high, one watch. I think it was, it needed, maybe that Asylum match to be
better.
Better for it to go into watch it over and over again. Because, basically what I'm saying is that, the IC title match is fantastic, but you have to watch 26 minutes of that Asylum match, where I think there was only about 6 minutes worth your time out of. So that's a little bit awkward. So it's kind of got its ups and downs, but I still think it was a very positive show. I was happy with it. Maybe some people like the show more because they weren't expecting it to be any good, and it was good. And in the same breath, some people might be disappointed because they were thinking, the Asylum match it has to be really good, or AJ Styles might be winning the title. Then neither of those things happen. They just think it's a lot worse than it actually is. So I think it's just down to people's perspective.
Yeah.
I think overall it was good, but still.
Yeah.
Was it a waste of your time, do you feel? Oh, I guess we already answered that because otherwise you'd say skip it.
I wouldn't say it was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Nah, it was solid. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's onto Money in the Bank, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because Money in the Bank's always an interesting pay-per-view.
So naturally, normally been a very solid pay-per-view since it's begun. Won't be as good as 2011, but most pay-per-views aren't. But that's just that's just the bottom line.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's just really unfair.
To compare it like that. Wow. But that's about it. I think, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, no. Well, one thing I've been really excited to do, though, is just being able to drop the Twitter handle. So if you could allow me to do that to finish up the show, that would be pretty badass. Are you honestly holding out for that? You're not going to let me do it? No? No? Hello? Hello? Matt? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Hello?
I don't even know what happened there.
According to this, we have two Matts in the call now.
I don't know what's happened.
It's all right. Let's wrap it up anyway. Just go from the ending bits.
I don't even know what you said. Fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just go from we're wrapping up the show again, then I can edit it that way. Yeah,
that's fine. And now my other voice has gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's all solid. It was all a very good show, and I probably won't go back and watch the whole thing again. I may even go back and watch the Fatal Four-Way again. I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Oh, that lovely Fatal Four-Way.
Oh, I will say though, Matt, like one thing as we're wrapping up the review this week is like one thing I've been excited to do now you're taking over hosting duties of the pay-per-view reviews. I've been wanting to drop the Twitter handle.
I don't know.
Would you allow me that honor here on the show? Or am I not ready for that?
I shall allow it.
All right, I don't know. When I make it up, it's too much pressure. You know, go on, wrap up the show.
If you would like to send us some questions, you may always comment at the bottom of this video, like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. You can always go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast, or there is always the Twitter handle of
@Talk Wrestle Pod.
I've
got such a big smile on right now.
You did it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Good job. But apart from that, I think I've nothing else to say until the weekend. I bid you adieu.
Yeah, and we'll catch you all next time.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.